chill run over me when she called me on the phone and said, Johnny, I'm all alone. Hey everybody, Tommy Norman with the Nashville Blues and Roots Alliance. Got a great interview for you today with Johnny Burgin, who cut his teeth in the Chicago blues scene. He's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, harmonica player. He's played with some of the greats all over, tours Europe, Japan, and the United States coast to coast. He was headlining at Papa T's Barbecue when I caught up with him, and we had a really great conversation. As always, if you want to support the Nashville Blues and Roots Alliance, please go to bluesandroots.org, sign up to be a member, and check out all our online content. And now, here's my conversation with Johnny Burgin. Hey everybody, Tommy Norman, Blues and Roots Alliance, still here at Papa T's, and now we've got Johnny Burgin, who's headlining tonight with Prakash is opening up, and I want to make sure we grab some time with you as well. So thank you so much for coming and doing this.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. So we always start with, how'd you get into blues? What got you started?
My dad.
Okay.
He was kind of a folky. He liked people like Josh White and Big Bill Brunsey and stuff like that. You know, he didn't like B.B. King because he didn't like the electric guitar. But he taught me how to play guitar.
Right.
I was in a play, and I had to play guitar in the play. And then that was it.
So if those were his influences, who were your first influences?
Well, my main man is Earl Hooker.
Okay.
He's the best.
All right.
For me, he's the best. I like Luther Tucker, Eddie Taylor,
All right.
the Jimmy Reed sound, and like all the great players that played with Muddy Waters, like Sammy Lawhorn, Tail Dragger, Howlin' Wolf. Like I first started out with Tail Dragger, this Howlin' Wolf style singer.
Okay.
So like everything was Howlin' Wolf, and even if it wasn't a Howlin' Wolf song, it sounded like Hubert Sumlin and all that. So all the great '50s guys from Chicago or in Chicago, '50s, '60s.
All the chess guys and stuff like
yeah,
that.
chess and VJ and all that. That's what I keep going back to because, you know, even after all this time, I'm still like discovering little things, you know.
Sure.
It's like a book you never finish reading.
There'll be artists that I'll think like, I think I've seen all of this, you know, for a while, and then I won't listen, and then you come back and you go,
right. It's like it's still good, and it's good in a different way, kind of.
I'll hear that Albert King, and he'll do that little pull, and I go, oh yeah.
And I'm a big Albert King fan too. A lot of my stuff kind of, you know, I've written a lot of songs that are kind of an Albert King vein, and I'm just like thrilled about him and the people who are connected to him, like Sun Seals. I do a lot of Sun Seals songs.
Okay.
Well, one of them has a profane word in it, so
let's skip that.
We'll call it Funky B.
That's right.
Yeah, and it, you know, turns out that then I'd start doing the songs, and all these 20-year-old kids are jumping around, 30-year-old kids. I'm like, how did they know about Sun Seals? But Fish did that song.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has a song called Hot Sauce. And I like that stuff is so exciting and hard hitting.
Right.
I just keep going back to it.
Perfect. And I had the privilege I went to Gruen Guitars one time, and a guy I knew took us upstairs, you know, to get to see all the good stuff. And I got to play the Albert King Flying V.
Wow.
It was amazing. I was scared because I'm like, you know, that thing's got to be worth
touching it.
That's worth a lot of money. But you know, you gotta feel that, and it's almost like that. You know, that's a heavy guitar, and you know, like that sound, like the guitar and the sound. So, what's kind of like your favorite acts? What do you normally play?
I've been playing this Epiphone Sheridan forever.
Okay.
And my main one got destroyed in a car accident, and then a fan gave me another one, which was the same, just blonde. So it's like I got a hot new blonde girlfriend, you know. And then I got this frozen shoulder, so now I'm playing this SG.
Okay.
And it's got a humbucker, and it's got a P90 in that position. It's kind of unusual, but I'm really into the P90 sound. So I'm really happy with that.
And why that, you know, why does this attract you to? You know, like we got Strat guys, we got Telly guys, we got, you know, hollow body guys. What attracts you to the SG?
Once I switched to humbuckers, I didn't go back anymore. I just wanted a bigger, deeper, bassier sound. and I wanted that. And then the P90s they're like humbuckers but better. I mean, it has more of what I like about humbuckers, if that makes any sense, you know.
Sure.
And it just, especially since I do so much stuff as a trio, not tonight, but you know,
You
as
gotta
a
fill it
trio,
out,
you gotta, you've got to fill it up, and there's got to be nice, like a touch sensitivity and stuff. And I want it to be big, but then I also want to back off.
Sure.
And so it's responding to me.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own touch, so
Right.
it's responding to me.
Well, there you go.
know.
Perfect. And when you find the one, you find the one.
Right.
Absolutely. Who are you listening to that's current? Like anybody that's out there now? Yeah, we have all this contemporary blues, and it's a different kind of vein of things. Who's standing out to you now?
Well, there's still a lot of good traditional guys, and I do like Eddie 9-Volt a lot.
Okay.
He's super exciting. He's got the whole 70s Freddie King thing going.
Gotcha.
And he's full of energy, and he's a young guy, and I like him a lot. I was just in Denmark, and I played with a young kid named Chris Copen, who plays piano. He's a New Orleans kind of piano guy. Real young. We did this review. So we had a piano player. We had a great singer, Sara de Silva. She's Danish and Portuguese. And a great harp player, Peter Nanda. So that was great. And I played with these guys in Italy called Jesus on a Tortilla. And like they're super traditional.
Right.
Like way more than me even. Like their favorite band is like Babyface Leroy. Like, you know.
So they're deep.
Yeah, they're So that was great fun. And I like Kike Gomez.
Okay.
I like a lot of these international guys.
All right.
I like I like the Cashbox Kings, you know, they're my friends. They're super traditional. And, you know, Billy Flynn's a good friend of mine, and his brother, a great guitar player, and his brother's playing bass with me tonight. Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
so-
there's another brother who plays bass in another band in Chicago.
Yeah, Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of great peers out here and people that I'm close to with music. So there's lots of good stuff, but everybody's got their own flavor. But, you know, that's my flavor.
So
Tommy Leno from Finland.
Okay.
Shout out. All right.
And you've done a lot of touring. You've played with a lot of people. Like, give me an anecdote. Give me you get those blues. I love reading all the blues books, and you hear all these great things, on the road, Buddy Guy and Albert Keegan, all these guys. Give me a good blues anecdote of blues on the road. One you can tell PG friendly. Let's go PG friendly.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess this is I used to play with Sam Way.
Okay.
And he played drums with Paul Butterfield and Howlin' Wolf and Bob Dylan and stuff. He was a great, it was a great school. I feel like he turned me into a real guitar player. But anyway, like, he was always honest about driving too fast, But then the minute he'd go to sleep, if he fell asleep, we'd just floor it. Because we were driving in like Montana or something, we had some crazy. I remember one of our first trips was going to Saskatchewan. That was the first gig, like from Chicago. Was going to Saskatchewan, Regina, Saskatchewan. So anyway, he said that there was this bubble in the tire, and like, it could blow up at any minute,
Okay.
But it was all a falsehood just to get us to do what he said, even when he was asleep.
Right.
And it was all falsehood. But anyway. We ended up, me and the bass player ended up almost coming to blows over it because we had this big argument about it.
About how fast you could drive.
Yeah, and they ended up, the bass player and his girlfriend ended up renting a car, and I
driving
drove the
themselves?
rest. Yeah, and I drove the rest of the way back with. But it's like it was one of those things where I guess, like, kind of almost snapped, But he's a dear friend and everything, and I really miss Sam a lot.
Okay.
But it was kind of funny that it had no truth at all, and it was just one of those things. But
bands have broken up for less.
Yeah, I guess that's not the greatest story in the world, but I miss Sam.
Those are those fun stories of what you remember playing out. And it's usually like there's always the things of this crowd was great and this was great, but I know
it's not all beer and Skittles.
Right. The funny things is when you did break down and you found something or this happened, or like, the time the lead singer stepped off and unhooked my entire guitar pedal with them, and we had silence for 10 minutes as we all try to rig it back. You remember all those fun things like that kind of make
because
the trips.
It seems like it's like a plan and everything's going to go according to plan, but sometimes it only takes one little thing to have everything sort of become a train wreck. But the music was always really good.
Right.
He never slacked off, and he was always like drenched with sweat at the end of the gig. It's like some people do a show like they're a plumber coming to fix a sink, and some people do a show like they're climbing Mount Everest and they're planting their flag and they're going to be the greatest of all time.
Right.
And Sam was one of those guys, and it really inspired me. And in fact, when we got to Saskatchewan, we were so tired because we left at 5 in the morning, and we were supposed to leave at 2 in the morning, so we got no sleep. And we drove all day, and then we got to the border, and they weren't open yet. And then they finally let us in.
Canada is closed.
Where we were going, they had these mosquitoes out there the size of golf balls. We were way out in the country. Anyway, they let us in. We finally got there. By this time, it was like 48 hours of, no bed, nothing, and we were just toast. And like one of us was leaning against the wall, and like here's Sam playing his ass off, And then next day we drove to Calgary.
Right.
And that's like 900 miles or something.
That's why he wanted you to drive slow so he can get all his rest.
So, and after we drove all day in silence, and he goes, "I know what you're doing because I've done it myself, and I ain't going to have it in this band. You're short-stopping. You're not giving the audience everything they want.
Right.
This is a better story than the other one." So, and he really tore us a new one, all about just basic professionalism and stuff.
Right.
No matter if you're tired, hungry, you're sick, it doesn't matter, So he had that, and he turned me into a real guitar player.
That's fantastic. So I know you're doing this a little small tour now. What's kind of going on now, and what's happening next? Let us know what's up for you.
Working on a new record. It's just about done. And I'm playing the Chicago Blues Festival with Delmark All Stars.
Okay.
With lots of great singers. And I've been associated with Delmark since the late 90s.
Okay.
Since the early 90s, as a matter of fact. And going to Japan in September, back to Japan, because I did a record called No Border Blues, first American compilation of underground Japanese blues scene.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it came
What's
out
the
during
scene like out there?
It's great. Most clubs are very small, but there's all these real fanatics who really care.
It is an interesting thing. I have a lot of people I know that have a hard time touring, can't find stuff here, and they go to Europe and say it's just phenomenal. Like they are playing bigger venues, the crowds are really into it. It does seem like internationally.
I'm so sorry, man.
That's all right. The blues is very much alive, and
it's small,
and the people
but it's
are young
so passionate.
too. Yeah.
There's several generations of Japanese blues players now.
Right.
And there's no money. They're not competing for big gigs or anything.
Sure.
And there's no blues awards. There's no blues societies. It's really informal, and it's like an informal group of blues fanatics. But they kind of took me in, and then Stephanie, my partner, she's like, "You got to do a record with these guys." So we did.
Nice.
And I'm proud of it.
All right.
No Border Blues, Japan.
All right, and we'll make sure we get links to everything up on the site and everything like that. Well, man, this has been great. Thank you so much. I know we kind of slapped this together at the end.
No worries.
But I appreciate you doing this for us. Thanks
Tommy.
everybody for tuning in, and it's going to be a great show tonight.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks. Give me an